Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this video. Thank you for dropping by today. This is the card I have to share with you today. It's this lovely autumnal birthday card and this background is just stenciled, nothing else, it's all just stenciling here as you can see, and then I've heat embossed my image here on top with copper embossing powder. So let me show you what I did. The stencils are this one, Abundant Beauty, and I just keep them in these little sandwich bags and it keeps them all nice and safe. Now on this original I used copper clay, pumpkin pie, Cajun craze and crumb cake, but I'm going to change it for this one and I'm going to bring in a little bit of cherry cobbler. I'm also going to still use Cajun craze, some pumpkin crumb cake, and I might also bring in, I think, a little bit of copper clay. Okay, so let's start off, and I'm going to start off with my good old what do you call this? I can't even think of the name now. Cherry cobbler. And I've just got my stencil and I've just attached it to my piece of basic white with some low tack tape, and I'm just going to go in places, and I'm just going to use my smaller blending brush. And I'm just adding some colour to various leaves, just randomly. I'm not really caring to keep to specific leaf shape or form. I'm just adding it randomly, as you can see. Just I think this is going to be enough for now. Okay, so let's close that up, and then I'm going to switch to some Cajun craze, and I'm just using Z again. I keep a different blending brush for each sort of colour, not specific colour, but like for the reds, the browns, that sort of thing, you know, greens, blues, you know. And then after a while I just wash them when I feel like getting too inky, just in some warm water and soap. I'm just going in here, so I'm not paying any attention really to shape or form. So we've done that one. I'm just going to wipe off any extra like that. And I'm going to go in with my copper clay, which is quite deep, so I'm not going to use a lot of it, I don't think. Like that. I think I'm going to bring in some, and I'll just wipe off anything extra on the majority of it off on my grid paper. That's what grid paper is there for. It's there to be used. It's not there to look pristine. I'm going to go in with some of mine now. Fill it in with my pecan pie. And I don't care if maybe some of this goes across to other leaves. It just looks more autumnal that way. Just make sure I've caught everything. Which I think I have. Okay. Wipe that off. And now we're just going to lift our stencil. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Doesn't look like a lot when the stencil's on top, and then you lift it off and suddenly it looks really pretty. And I'm just going to take off my low tack tape here, and then I'm going to take some crumb cake quickly, just a little bit, and I just want to get rid of all this white So I'm just going to go in with my crumb cake, a little bit heavier in the corners, and just get rid of some of this white background so it just doesn't look so clean. Okay, just like that, so it just gives it something extra. And then I'm going to take my stamp set. I'm going to use this one called Quiet Meadow, and I'm going to use this sort of broken text here. I've used it a lot of times. Now you can stamp on whatever colour you want. I'm going to stick with my crumb cake. I'm just going to use my fingers to stamp because I don't want a perfect image. I'm going to almost stamp off as well. It just gives me a lighter so it's not so perfect. And I'm just randomly stamping. And I'll just clean my stamp off. And that just gives some extra interest in the background, like that. So I'm going to clean this up and then we'll be ready to start our heat embossing. Okay, so we're now going to heat emboss our sentiment, you can see here. And the sentiment I'm using is Happy Birthday. And this is from the stamp set called Celebrate with Tags. We're just using the lovely Happy Birthday there. So I've got everything here, my Stamper Artist, because I just find it easier when I'm heat embossing to do it this way. I'm just going to use my embossing buddy, just so powder doesn't go everywhere, hopefully. Okay, and then we're going to stamp in Versamark ink, because this is a sticky embossing ink. Give everything a really good ink up, down, and I think it's taken, but let's do it once more for luck. Yep, okay. Magnets are so strong. Move that aside. And then I've got here my copper embossing powder, and I use this because I thought it just matched the whole theme of the card and the colours so well. So let's go one more time. Lovely. Let's put this back in here before we have too much of an accident. Okay, now I can see here, just tap off the excess, I've got a little bit of powder where I don't want it to be, so I'm just going to use a little paintbrush here and just take that off. Perfect. So now we're going to heat emboss, and I let my embossing gun usually heat up for a good 30 seconds before I bring it to the paper, and this helps to prevent a bit of the warping. So let's do that now. Okay, so that's all heat embossed and nice and shiny, as you can see. So I'm just going to set that aside for a second to cool down a little bit, and can start to build our card. So my card base this time is going to be Cherry Cobblers. That's a standard A6 card base. That's an A4 sheet cut in half and then folded in half. And then I'm going to put a piece of basic white cardstock measuring 14.35 centimeters by 10 on the inside. All these measurements and supply list, etc., is all on the blog post on my website, and you can find the links to that all in the description box below. You'll also find the links to my social media. So I have a Facebook group, I have my Instagram, etc., and you can find it all there. I post regularly to Instagram and to my Facebook group, and we host I host fortnightly challenges, card making challenges in my Facebook group, so do come and check it out. I'd love to have you join. So I'm just going to make sure I put this the right side up. This is the text. Even though you can't read the text, you can still tell if it was upside down. So there we go. That's perfect. So now we're going to cut down a sentiment, and I'm just going to use my trimmer to do this. So there we go. Something like that. I'm not measuring, I'm just being fairly, just going with the flow. And seeing what I like. I think I'm going to take a tiny bit off the base. Let's see. Oh, come out of there. Whether I like that, and I do. So that's our sentiment all trimmed out. So let's move these pieces aside, and then I have a piece here of what you call this. I'm going to use this instead. Cherry cobbler, scrap cherry cobbler. And I'm going to just mat my sentiment onto this. So let's do that now. Give it a little edge. There we go. Lovely. And then I'm going to use my scissors here just to cut out. Just cut around like that. Yep, happy enough with that. So let's bring back our card, and we're just going to pop this up. I'm going to add a few little finishing touches and we'll be done. So if you've enjoyed this video, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up so YouTube know. And please do consider subscribing. If you like the card, I'd love to read your comments, so please do comment. It really helps also my videos become more visible on YouTube and helps YouTube to recommend my videos to other people. So it's good for any content creator if you do comment and like their videos, if you do, of course. So there we go. So now I'm going to use these are the adhesive backed sequins, and I'm going to use some of these gold ones here. And do we want larger ones? Let's have a mixture, so let's get them both out here. And let's see. Yeah, that will do, I think. Okay, clear the decks without dropping everything on the floor, hopefully. And there you can see my two cards. You can see the more ready version, the more brownie version. I don't know which one you prefer. Let me know in the comments below. So thank you for watching the video, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye!